Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Tashina from Logical Harmony. I hope you're having a good day. I'm here with my coffee. I just got an espresso and it is like life-changing. I regret waiting so long to get one. I will link to the specific one down below because it's amazing. Anyway, it's been a while and I thought it'd be good to come back and explain where I've been, what's been going on, and I thought a cool way to do that would be to kind of talk about look back on a past video and kind of reflect with you. So I took vacation. I never take actual vacation. I'm fidgeting right now, sorry. I haven't taken a real vacation in like years where I actually unplug. And I did that. I went to Disney World for the first time. It was so much fun. I took literally over a week off of work in every capacity. Normally my vacations are working vacations, working trips. So that felt amazing. Came home, unwound a little bit, and then I was sick. And so I had to take more time off. And I was like, you know what? My body's just telling me that that's what I have to do right now. And that's fine. Because honestly, too, as you've noticed by my inconsistency on here, I've been feeling very uninspired by YouTube, very uncreative and not really sure what I wanted to do. I kind of feel like the only way out is through. And I don't want to be creating content like I used to create back in the day. It doesn't just feel as good to me. I want to create something that's enjoyable for me, hopefully enjoyable for you. Let me know if you're still around, and if you are still around, thank you. I appreciate you being here. If you're new here, I appreciate you too. Thank you. I realized when I was looking back, I was like, okay, what videos have I put out? I've been so inconsistent for a couple of years. I moved across the country. I've had major life changes, have set boundaries. I love my own privacy so much more. I've always been a very quiet, private person. And the past couple of years have really pushed that even more with me. But I was looking at what videos I've done, and then I was like, oh my gosh, I have not done a yearly favorites since 2019. It's the end of 2022 right now. So I was like, you know what? What I like out of products has changed a lot. What I use has changed a lot. And so I am going to be doing at least 2022. How is it 2022? At least 2022 makeup favorites. Maybe skincare. I'm not totally sure yet. It kind of just depends on how I feel. But I wanted to revisit one of my past videos and just be like, oh, do I still use anything from this video? Anything that I recommended in 2019. I can't even believe it's been that long. So I have the video pulled up here. I'll link to it down below. One, I was not great at keeping things concise. I feel like that's something I've gotten way better about. Maybe not talking wise, but as far as product wise go, I have a much more pared down makeup collection. Moving does that, but also I'm just being better about, passing things on to people who would want them. If I'm not going to use it a lot, I've gotten better about purging things when they are expired. I also don't take quite as much PR anymore. And honestly, brands don't send as much PR anymore, which I'm really honestly thankful for. And yeah, looking at this list, I was like, oh my gosh, there's products in here I don't think I've touched since 2019, 2020. So I'm just going to go through and mention a few things because there's so much in here. So I mentioned the Too Faced Born This Way foundation and the concealer. I don't use either of those anymore. I haven't used anything from Too Faced in a long time, actually. I think at one point in 2020, they sent me a Better Than Sex mascara, and I haven't purchased anything. I have a few things I'm still using up. I still think the foundation's fine. It's no longer my favorite. It's a little more full coverage than what I want. Same with the concealer. It's a good concealer. I like the formula, but I ran out of it, and I've just what I want out of a concealer has changed. So I haven't picked any up in a long time. I forgot how long it had been since I used those. Tarte Foundsealer, I still love that. If I want a full coverage foundation, that is still a great one I would recommend. I still use that occasionally. I no longer I bought the full size before. I just buy the mini travel size because I use a tiny bit and it's wonderful. I highly recommend it if you have dry skin especially and you need a full coverage foundation. That's one of the best out there. I still love that one. I'm still going to recommend that. The Milk Makeup Flex Concealer. I don't use that anymore. I use the Sunshine Under Eye Tint. Absolutely love that. I have gone through 3 of them. No, maybe 2. I've purchased one or two. They've sent me one or two. I can't remember exactly, but I do still love oh my gosh. I do still love Milk Makeup, just not the Flex Concealer anymore. I feel like that was a little drying for my skin. I can't even remember what the formula was like, to be honest. Wow. Okay. This is such a trip to look back on. Such a trip. I talked about the Anastasia Beverly Hills contour kit. Okay, I do still think that's a good contour kit because you can buy it for different like skin tones. It does give you more variety than most contour kits out there. If I'm going to use a powder one now, I use the KVD Beauty one, and I absolutely love that. I also in 2020 completely stopped self-tanning and have not gone back to it. And I believe I still have my ABH contour kit, but it just doesn't work on my skin anymore because I am so darn pale naturally, which I fully embraced and now I love, and I don't think I will ever self-tan again. I mean, I guess never say never, but I think that's a good contour kit. I think it has its pros and cons, right? Again, it's one of the ones out there with a good shade range. It has a good variety. At the same time, I don't think that their formula is that amazing. I feel like the formula, when it launched, it was like groundbreaking. No one else was doing it. Now you have so many other options out there. So I feel like formula-wise, as I'm going through this, obviously everything I use is cruelty-free. Everything I use also happens to be vegan as well. If you want to learn more about cruelty-free beauty, you can head over to my website, logicalharmony.net. It's linked down below. I will link to all these products down below too, the ones I'm reflecting on. And if I have updated suggestions, I will link to those too. Or just ones that I've changed. The Milk Makeup Cush Fiber Brow. That's still a good one. I have one of those right now in clear in my drawer. Right now, I'm really loving the Lawless brow products. I'm really loving the e.l.f. brow gel that comes in a pot that's clear. I'll link to it below. I can't remember exactly which one it is because they've launched a few of them. I feel like now, okay, I still love the Milk Makeup one, but I feel like there are great options at a lower price point. I also have very thick brows naturally, and so my opinion isn't necessarily like the be all end all when it comes to brow products. I will say I love it. Do I think you need it? No. I think you can get one of the e.l.f. ones and you'll be set. You'll be good. NYX makes some good ones too. The Au Naturel powder highlighters. I still love those. They're so pretty. I wish they had more shades. I still love Au Naturel. I think they make some of the greatest formulas out there. Their powder foundation is also gorgeous on the skin. I still love that, especially if you need a very full coverage look. Wear that over your concealer. Wear that over your lightweight foundation. Smooths, blurs, beautiful. Their setting powder, beautiful. Their highlighters, beautiful. I wish they had some different shades in them. That's the only thing that I would say is at this point, I feel like I've had like an on again, off again love of highlighters. I keep going back to them, but every time I go back, I want something that's a little bit different than what I had before. So I do still strongly recommend Au Naturel. They're a great brand. I wish they had some updated shades. That's all, but absolutely beautiful shades. The Urban Decay All-Nighter Setting Spray. I don't use that anymore. I don't think I have one. I use the Milk Makeup Setting Spray the most. Once I tried Hydro Grip Setting Spray, I never looked back. I recently was sent one from Half Magic Beauty, and I'm really excited to try that one. I shouldn't say recently. It was like a few weeks ago. It was before I was sick, but I've worn makeup like twice in the past month. I'm really excited to try that one. I have really high expectations, really high hopes. I kind of just like, I don't know. I feel like setting sprays are another thing where for so long, there was no one doing them. So when a brand launched one, you were like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And then now that there's more options, you're just like, maybe that's not what I want anymore. I do still think the Urban Decay one is like a classic. It has its time and its place. But for me, having dry skin, I just love the Milk one so much more. Get some coffee. Oh my gosh, the Tarte False Lashes. I do still think that they're so pretty. I have some. I just don't reach for them. When I didn't wear false lashes, I had a heck of a time with that learning curve of how to apply them, how to use them. And the Tarte ones were the first ones I found that were very, very easy for me to use. Trying to get the door. Someone just rang the doorbell. Hold on. Okay, sorry about that. What was I saying? Oh yeah, the Tarte lashes. So when I didn't really wear them often, I found that those were like the easiest for me to use, the easiest for me to get the swing of. I wasn't used to wearing lashes, so they had very good natural styles. I still like them. I still recommend them. I just now prefer much more dramatic styles of lashes. And now, again, there's so many more brands out there to pick from that I don't think you need to spend the Tarte price. I love Kiss lashes. I think they make some amazing ones, natural and dramatic. The ones I'm wearing now, I picked up from Birdie Lashes, I believe it was, after Ash Lipstick Kitty recommended them. Theirs are also a great price point. I just think that for what the Tarte ones are, they're good, but you don't need to spend that much money on them. Bottom line, you don't need to spend that much. They're fine. If you're new to lashes, if you want natural lashes, if you want something you can just like run into Sephora and grab, you're good. But if you're at Ulta, just get some Kiss lashes. You don't need to spend the money on them. The Milk Makeup Kush Mascara. I do still love that mascara. I love it. I go back to it. They've sent me some. I've purchased some. Right now I'm loving the Tower 28 mascara. I bought that from Credo. I really love it. I also talked about the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. I haven't used that in a long time. I know so many people before had issues with it flaking. I never had that issue until like 2020. And it was like, I think the last tube that they sent me that I tried, it flaked all over the place. And I've been using it like I was like ride or die for that mascara for like years. Never had that issue. So that kind of just made me be like, you know what? I'm going to see what else is out there. I tried a lot of drugstore mascaras. I wasn't impressed with most of them. I do really like the CoverGirl one in like the blue, green, tealish tube. I like that one a lot too. Like of drugstore mascaras, that's probably my favorite. e.l.f. has some good ones. I think the Milk Makeup one is still worth it. I don't think the Too Faced one is. I think there's better options out there now. I keep looking at my light and then remembering the camera is over there because I film with my phone, so sorry. The Black Moon Cosmetics Orb of Light Full Moon Palette. I never got over this palette. I still love this palette. I still use it all the time. This is making me realize I need to buy a new one because I am still using the exact same palette as I was back then. Such an amazing palette. I cannot recommend it enough. It is like my go-to palette. I use it for blush a lot of the time too. Can't recommend that enough. I talked about the e.l.f. and Jkissa collabs. I still friggin' love those palettes. If you got your hands on them, I hope you love them still. I still do. I think that they are great. They're great. I talked about the e.l.f. New Classics palette. That's still a really solid palette in my opinion. Like if you are new to makeup, if you're looking for a budget palette that has every shade you could want for like good neutral everyday looks, that's a great palette. It's going to mix and match with everything you already own. I don't reach for it really as much anymore because I have my aesthetics kind of changed, my styles kind of changed. I don't reach for neutral shadows as much as I used to. And honestly, if I'm doing a neutral look, I usually reach for that Black Moon palette, but I still recommend that e.l.f. palette. I still love it. I still think their shadows are like some of the best drugstore, actually no, like the best drugstore palettes you can get. I love e.l.f. still. I absolutely love e.l.f. They're one of my favorite brands. They always will be. I feel like I'm just kind of rambling in this video. I don't know if this is helpful. I'm just picking random stuff, but hopefully it is. And if also too, this is just me like getting back into the flow, which is going to be awkward and weird sometimes. And that's just how it is. Black Moon Cosmetics liquid lipsticks. I still love those. Those are some of my favorites. They have really, really pretty unique shades. For liquid lipsticks, I either go with Black Moon or Lime Crime, or recently Half Magic Beauty. They sent me a couple of theirs. They're really nice. NYX has some good ones too, though, but I still love the Black Moon. I stand by my recommendation there. They also have some really unique shades like Cider. Can't get that anywhere. Hazel. Can't get that anywhere. Harvest, I think is the orange one in the fall bundle, the autumn bundle. Such unique shades. Pick up that bundle if you're going to get anything from them. They also have a good range of nudes too. The Hourglass Unreal Lip Gloss. Oh my gosh, I was just thinking about that lip gloss the other day because Gwen Stefani's brand launched a shade that looks like an Hourglass shade that I loved, that Rianne loved. I don't have them anymore. They expired. So I don't use it, but I still think about that gloss. But in my mind, I'm like, that was where my thought went, was like, oh, well, I know what I've used the Hourglass one. So if I were to replace it, I'd probably pick up the Gwen Stefani one. I don't know. I've been intrigued. I'm a big lip gloss person. I feel like the Hourglass ones were very pigmented. Now that I'm thinking about it, they were probably pretty thick formula-wise, but at the time, they were fine. I don't know that the gloss is worth the Hourglass price. It's probably a better way to put it. I have no problem spending money on things that are worth it, but they need to be worth it. I'm also very quick to return things. If it's expensive, it needs to be expensive for a reason, not just because of pretty packaging or a trendy brand. Like, it needs to be nice. I need to put it on and feel like, okay, I love this. And if I don't love it, I'm returning it. All that to say, I haven't used that gloss in a long time. I don't know that I would try. I would try it again. I don't know that I would purchase it again. I'm much more inclined to try the Gwen Stefani one because it's like a new formula. It's something different. It's something fresh. And I feel like we all need that in our lives. I feel like that's something like 2020 really shook up is the brands that were around in a good way. Like it introduced a bunch of new brands. Brands had a hard time surviving it. They had to pivot, they had to change, but also everything about what a lot of us use product wise changed too. And I think that was so like good and so refreshing. I remember like with the yearly favorites feeling like I just feature the same things. I just talk about the same brands. I talk about the same products, or with my monthly favorites. And I feel like now that has changed so much. And I'm really grateful for that. Like I do feel like things in the beauty community got really stagnant. And I feel like now brands have slowed down. What people want has changed. And I feel like there's been like a freedom with that of like trying different stuff, branching out. And for me, like I became so much less focused on feeling the need to keep up with trends, feeling the need to try trendy products, trendy brands, because I just really wanted to figure out like, what do I actually like? What is it that I want to wear versus what I'm being told to wear, or what's showing up, or what people are asking about? And it's not that I want to totally distance myself from that, but it was just like a pivot that I needed to happen. What is going on with my fingers here? That's wild. I feel like with these nails, my hands look like monster hands. Anyway, I feel like it was just like a good change. My throat is hurting, so I'm going to cut this off. But I feel like this was like fun to look at the stuff and kind of share my thoughts on it. I do want to do a 2022 makeups favorites video. So comment, let me know if you'd like to see that. If you're still using any of these, I'm curious too, like which ones? Like I'm so curious because I'm sure same as with me. You buy stuff, you have it for a while and you're just like, well, I have it, so I'm going to keep using it. But is there stuff from way back then that you still like absolutely love and repurchase? I'm so curious because mine, looking at this, I realized how much my preferences have changed and like, it's so interesting. Anyway, this is very long-winded. I'm going to let you go. Have a good day. I'll see you next time.